Good morning, everyone. It is 5:32 in the morning on Tuesday, the 2nd of March, I think. No, 31st of March. Where do I get the 2nd of March from? Right, well, it is early in the morning and I haven't had a coffee yet, but back to basics. So we're looking at the pound-yen monthly chart. And I realise a lot of my charts look absolutely scary when you open them when I'm showing you trades halfway through the day. So this is how I start my day. It refreshes my mind, it gives me a clear idea of what price is trying to do or what it has done in the past. Bearing in mind this is a monthly chart, it's the last day of the month. That does mean something, but I don't know quite what. And people say there's swaps and all sorts of things goes on at the end of the month. I'm not interested in any of that. All I'm interested is trading the 1 minute chart, using the higher time frames to actually grab my pips. And I only really need 5 or 6 pips a day to keep the bank manager happy. But if you make more than that, then you can put it in the bin, in credit if you like, for the inevitable losers you may well get. But my system is way up in the 90s hit rate, far more if I'm less adventurous, a little less if I get a bit too cocky. So what's this chart telling me? And how do I draw my lines? Well, I'll start with a descending trend line because we can clearly see there is some sort of massive downward move here, and I tried to draw my trend lines by connecting highs in this instance that make a lower low, a lower high, and then when that lower low is broken, that's a valid connection point, and so on and so forth. And then that means you can tighten them up. So I'll start over here because it won't mess the chart up way over here, just to show you what I'm talking about. So that high there connects that high there, and there, and then when it makes a new low, a new lower high, higher low should I say, or a lower high, well, a new lower high, lower low, because it hasn't made the lower high in my opinion until the lower low is broken. So we could call that a low there, and then the pullback, slight increase or breakout, and then it breaks down. So once the low here is broken, this is a connection point, and that's how I tighten up my trend lines, so that when it breaks out we are in the earliest reversal point. And you know, if you look at some of my previous videos, they'll explain what the reversals are. I will do in this one, so be patient. Therefore we haven't got to wait for it to effectively break that trend line, but that will, in my opinion, according to the way I think about charts, that will be significant until it is tested or broken. So that's how I do the downward trend lines. And we can also, now notice this hasn't broken this low, so effectively none of these are valid connection points when you take this into account. If we forget about this, then we can start to look at this in a slightly different light, because this is way old price action back to 2015 and 14. So to do the opposite direction, once this high is broken by price, then this becomes a valid connection point. So we can draw the trend line from there to there. Excuse me. So once it breaks through that, we can see price has started to drift down. So that's the opposite of that, and without trying to cover too much ground too quickly, that's how I draw my trend lines. High, low, lower high, break, connect point. High, low, lower high, break of the low, connection point. So we can draw a descending trend line on this lot here, because hopefully this is starting to make sense now. High, low, lower high, lower low. So that's a connection point. You can use the line chart if you're not sure. High, and we would have been connecting these points until it gets broken, and then that becomes this becomes the new low to break, and then we connect that and that. And so it does go up and down, so you need to be aware of that. The most recent price action is the most important, because obviously it stands to reason levels have been broken, disrespected if you like, and then you have to change your levels. So we can come right across here, because this has created a higher low and lower high and so on and so forth, or a lower higher low, lower high, lower low, lower high. That's broken, so that becomes a valid connection point. As you can see, then it has been tested. If we had continued with this one, because this was the first descending trend line here, until this broke through there, that got broken by that, so that became valid, and then price poked up through there, and then clearly disregarded it at this point here, so then we can take this off our chart. Hope that makes sense. Can't draw a ascending trend line because this hasn't broken this high here, but we can draw a wedge. I'm not sure who invented wedges. When I first started in this, I got involved in Steve Nyson's stuff, sitting in the garden way back in about 2004, 2003, and I thought this looks really interesting. So, and that was the start of my forex journey. So this is a monthly chart. These lines can be left on. We can tighten that one up in terms of respecting the low of that low there. Now we can clearly see massive bullishness on this monthly chart, but bearishness on both of the indicators that I use. This is free, this is proprietary, so I can't share that one. This is better than that one. I've had this 15 years, I've had this about 3 or 4 months. So it's free, RSI Histo Alert, and I'm going to call this Back to Basics Part 1 and save it, and then make another one.